Hello, everyone, and welcome to Kindy Rockstars. This is the show that gives you the stories behind the songs from some of the best bands and singers that are making fun, informative, educational, catchy, and occasionally silly songs for children and families. I'm your host, Patrick Adams, and each episode of Kindy Rockstars will feature an artist and a featured song. So let's get to this week's show. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Kindy Rockstars. We have an album feature today with our guest, Jesse Friedberg, otherwise known as Jesse Jukebox. Welcome to the show, Jesse.
Hey, Patrick. Thanks for having me.
You got it. All right. Well, tell everybody a little bit about you, Jesse Jukebox, and how you got into making Kindy music.
Well, I'm based in Cleveland, and I do a lot of entertainment and music around Cleveland, Ohio, and in the Midwest. I originally got into children's music back in college. I went to Berklee College of Music in Boston, and honestly, Patrick, you know, like when someone's like, "Hey, I'll give you $50 to play my kid's birthday party," and you're broke college, you take the gig. You take the gig, you know. I just had a lot of fun doing that, and I remember talking to one of my teachers, and he was like, "You should like really consider like pursuing children's music. You're good at it. It's super fun. You should try writing your own songs." And I started writing my own songs actually in high school, like children's songs in high school. Actually, I worked with a children's singer in Cleveland named Danny B. It's like my senior high school, like senior project. And so I was already kind of had that experience. But I decided, I gotta like put together a kids album, and I just had so much fun doing it. And I just like realized that like after playing in a band for so long that there is something, and I know you can relate to this, Patrick, like there's something so unique and special about writing kid songs that they have to be awesome. Like you can't phone it in, you know. You can't hide behind like, oh, whatever, it's children's music, so they're gonna like whatever you write. No, you have to like make it the best thing they've ever heard every time, and I love that challenge. I really like pride myself in trying to make every single song I write to be the best song it could possibly be. And so yeah, I guess I just like I got into it for reasons like any working musician does, but I stayed in it because I just have so much fun writing kid songs, and I just don't want to stop, and I'm immature and don't want to grow up, and this is a great way to do it. That's kind of how I got into it.
Yeah, believe it or not, your origin story is fairly unique. You know, I think 90% of the people we talk to, they got into children's music because they had children, and you know, they might have been doing other type of music and things like that, but yeah, just their I guess approach changed, and they went down that route. But you were all in from the get-go, it sounds like.
I mean, I'm just a kid myself. I mean, I'm not a kid, but I feel like a kid quite a bit, you know. And I think even the ones that like get into it because they have kids, which I totally get, that's a totally common story, but you still have to be young at heart, you know, and you still have to find like the things that kids find funny, you find funny, or things that kids find interesting, you also find that interest. I think that's what makes any children's singer that's in the Kindy industry relatable, right? Like it's just finding ways to relate to your audience, and you have to be genuine about it. So I'm totally, I think that everyone who gets involved in it, at least the ones I've met in this industry, you included, are in it for like really awesome, authentic reasons. So
yeah, definitely. So tell me about your first album. So how did it go from, okay, I'm going to write kids songs and playing children's birthday parties to you actually had an album out.
It was wild. So I started off in a, it's so weird. Do you ever say like adult music and adult band, like to differentiate between like what you do with
Yeah.
kids? Or it sounds weird, but we all do it. But I'm gonna do it now. Like when I was in an adult band with adult music, and an adult I was like 23, like I wasn't really an adult. Um, I had this band called Hazard Adams in Boston,
That's a
and
great name.
thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's actually Hazard Adams is a real person. He's a literary analyst, which is a super nerdy thing. And I remember actually we played one gig and someone was like, "Are you guys all a bunch of English majors? Like, why did you name your band that?" I was like, "Do you know who that is? That's insane." um, but anyway, I digress. So we recorded this album and we were living in Boston time. We actually went back to Cleveland and recorded this guy named Michael Seifert, who is this like genius producer. Got his start recording Bone Thugs and Harmony, and like just took off from there. And we recorded an album with him, and it was a great experience. But at the time, I was also doing kids music, and I told him about it, and he was like, "You should like make a kids album." Like he heard a couple of my songs. He's like, "You should really come back and make a kids album." So um yeah, like back in, oh my god, it was so long ago now, like almost 10 years ago now. Went back, we made our first kids album called Jesse's Jukebox. And so for a while I was like really struggling with my name, like stage name. Like I was just Jesse Friedberg, but then I had this idea of like, oh, it's Jesse's Jukebox, and my first two kids albums are actually called Jesse's Jukebox, until the third one I found. I was like, oh, maybe if I should just call myself Jesse Jukebox, that's probably more catchy and easier to remember. So yeah, I got my start doing that, and I worked on another album with him, which was like an audio musical drama. Like we had like voice actors and sound effects and all sorts of really fun stuff. And then the before I made my most current album, I worked with Dean Jones over
Mhm.
in New York, who is very, his name is very prominent in our industry. And he is this incredibly kind, super genuine, insane person. And he is like, he's just so much fun. Like he has a studio out in upstate New York that he built himself out of hay bales that he actually then like covered the hay bales in plaster to like compress the sound in. It's really insane. And you have to go to the bathroom in an outhouse, which I was very resistant at first, but after a week or so, you're like, okay, I guess I'm doing this. Um, and
Do what you got to do.
exactly, you gotta do, man. And so then for this last album, we went back and we're like, I wanted to work with him again because I just think he's so incredible what he does, and him and I just really hit it off and got along really well. I consider him a good friend now. And so that led us to here and why I'm on, how I got to your podcast, how I'm here talking about a new album.
Yeah, I got before we get into the new album, I just had to share an anecdote about the stage name because I struggle with that a little bit too because Patrick Adams is such a common name, and
Yeah.
my YouTube channel, I actually apparently share it with a Patrick Adams who was a hip hop R&B singer and producer. So you have all of
Oh.
my kids' videos and all that mixed in with all of his past work and
Yeah, I actually would try to look you. I mean, I did look you up before the podcast because I wanted to learn a little bit more about you and listen to your songs, and I ran into that a little bit. I was like, I don't think this is the same guy. I think the motorcycle song is you.
that's
I
me.
didn't think the other one was him.
But so and Hazard Adams is taken. All right,
Yeah,
props to
well,
that.
hey, listen, I stole that name. You can steal it from me. It's fine. We could just pass it along until it finds the right home. I'm not using it anymore.
Yeah, I might go that path someday of coming up with a more kid friendly, recognizable, and fun stage name. But
Well, if you need some
until
help, I can
until
help you
then, yeah,
brainstorm.
I can bounce some ideas off you. All right, let's talk about your new album then. It's
Totally.
called Just a Minute. So tell
Yes.
everybody how was that conceived? What kind of went into it? And
Yeah. So just a minute. Every song on the album is about a minute long, give or take. There's 28 songs and I recorded all this with Dean. And the idea came honestly really organically. Back in, I don't know, last April or so, April 2021, I was talking with Dean like, hey, like these past 2 years have been awful. Really want to get back into a recording studio with you, and I want to make an album. I just want to have fun. I am not great at writing songs with like deep things, deep morals. I like to write about talking pizzas and time tunnels and stuff like that. Like I just whatever I find fun. And so I started kind of toying around with this idea. I was like, as a songwriter, sometimes I find it hard to I can write like a really great verse and a killer chorus, and then I'm like, oh wait, now I have to write another verse. and I found like, what if I just didn't do that? And what if I just like got the main idea, got the best part of the song and just presented that? And that kind of led to like trying to make every song a minute long and not just be like a song that's like could be like a 3-minute song and then just got cut down. No, I wanted to actually be like a fully complete fleshed out song that's a minute long. So I started toying with that idea, and I remember talking to Dean. I was like, hey, like I got this idea. Like, what if we did an album that every song was like a minute long, and we really tried our best to keep it to a minute. And I remember Dean saying, I've always wanted to do that. I thought that'd be such a fun idea, but I'm so nervous it's going to limit us in so many ways. And I was like, well, I think without limitations, art is really hard to do. Like you need to have some limitations. You need to be able to problem solve. You need to be able to challenge yourself to make great art. So at first he was like a little resistant, but I started sending him over some demos, and he's like, oh yeah, that's cool. And even like when we started recording, I think he was still like, yeah, like let's see how this goes, trying to keep every song a minute. Like I want to hear some more song. And honestly, like flash forward, like not even like the end of the day, we have like a big timer up on our screen, and like we're like, okay, this is a minute. Okay, now we have to like work our way backwards and figure out like how to make this. Oh no, that's a minute and 7 seconds. We gotta cut down the reverb tail. Make sure it's a minute. 1 second is fine, I guess. I'll take a minute and 1 second. I'm okay with that. So we really, it was like crazy just how quickly we got really into the idea. And like the other thing is like when you are playing songs that are only a minute long, you could fall into really easily like every song is like the same beat, like every song's the same BPM, like everything's 128. So we were like, hey, like let's turn the metronome down to like 96 and let's see if we can like get that going, like and see if we can do like a complete song that way. So it was like super fun to just like kind of come up with these challenges that like nobody told us we had to do, but we did it anyway. And it was honestly like some of the best stuff I've ever got to work on. And we we just had such a great time. And like because everything's a minute long, and we're like, I wrote a bunch of stuff and brought it over, but then it left us room to go like, I don't know, we're like eating a bag of chips, and Dean is addicted to chips, and he's like, oh, just one more chip. And then I'm just like starting to strum like just one more chip, and all of a sudden we like are able to make this little song out of just like chips, and like we can make it sound complete and full. And so yeah, I don't know if I'm ever going to go back to writing 3-minute songs. I think this might be it for me, man. I think I might be a 1-minute song kind of guy.
Well, this aligns so well with kids' music because it forces you to grab their attention immediately because you're working within a time limit, and get to the point immediately.
Yes.
And yeah, it's great for their attention spans. I was actually given feedback on a song that I had somebody else listen to and said, you do realize your vocals don't kick in until 32 seconds into the song. The kids will already be 20 seconds into another song by that point. They'll have gotten tired of waiting for yours. I'm like, okay, I get it.
Come on, Patrick, when are you gonna sing for us? I like the beat.
This is music. This is boring. Where's the voice?
But I think that's like the nature of being a children's singer. I mean, and a children's performer is like you only have like minute, maybe 2 tops to win your audience over, like you have to, like, in the matter of a minute or two, be able to not only for them to win them over, but to trust you, to love you, to be like, it's like a comedian or something. Like, you only have such a short amount of time to really open yourself up. So I think doing these minute-long songs was like the perfect way to get new fans. Like, hey, this is me. This is what I'm all about. Your mom is driving you to the grocery store. How far is it? 5 minutes. Oh, is it 5 minutes or is it 5 Jesse Jukebox songs?
There you go.
That's
a unit of time. I like it. All right. Well, let's get into some of these 1 minute songs. And funnily enough, the first song we're going to talk about is called 1 Minute Song. So, all right. Inspiration behind this one.
This was the first song I wrote for the album, and it was the first idea I had. I am a big alt rock fan. I'm a big fan of like children's television theme songs, and I used to watch the show Pete and Pete when I was a kid on Nickelodeon, and there's a band who did the theme song. They're called Polaris, and they just wrote this grungy rock song, and they made a kids theme song. I was like, I want to bring more of that into kids music. So this was my way of kind of introducing the alt rock, grunge rock to kids.
All right. Well, let's play this one. Here it is. 1 Minute Song by Jesse Jukebox.
To express myself when I got a feeling or a story to tell, and I'll make it quick cause the song lasts forever, so I'll try to sing it out while I can. 2, 3, 4. What would you do if I wrote this song, and when you listen to it, it's only 1 minute long? Would you jam out to it all the way to the end? Would you press that button so you rock it again? What would you do if I wrote this song, and when you listen to it, it's only 1 minute long? Would you jam out to it all the way to the end? Would you press that button so you rock it again? Let's go!
And that was 1 Minute Song. All right. The next one is a great title, Groovy Kangaroo. Talk about this one.
Groovy Kangaroo. Oh man, it's just a silly song. It's I love dancey funk music. That guitar riff that you hear when you play the track, I've had that in my head for like 12 years, and I never knew what I was going to do with it. And then when I started writing songs for this album, I was like, oh, I really want to do something with this. And then I also like to do different voices. I like to not always use my voice on recordings and stuff. I like to kind of experiment and see what I could do. So I started like making this other kind of voice, and just got really silly with it. And Dean actually helped me with the little hop to the left, hop to the right. That was Dean's magic right there in the chorus that you'll hear. It's just a silly song, and I honestly, I feel like I could say that for most of these songs. Oh, they're just a silly song, but this one, it's just a little Berkeley riff I've had in my head for more than a decade, and I'm so glad I finally get to use it for something. And I mean, who doesn't love the visualization? It's like a groovy kangaroo. It's going to be the new dance. So let's wait till summer. I know summer 2022 is starting to wind down, but I really feel like summer 2023 gonna get all the kids doing the groovy kangaroo.
I know this could potentially sprout off into a great music video, but
there actually is one,
like a children's book character too. Okay, yeah, everyone go check this music video out then
on my YouTube page.
All right, here we go. Groovy Kangaroo, Jesse Jukebox.
All right now. Now can you do the groovy kangaroo? Come on, friends, in for a ride. Come on, friends, now can you do the Groovy Kangaroo?
That was Groovy Kangaroo. All right, another fun title here, Monster Robot.
Oh yeah, Monster Robot was super fun. So Monster Robot, this was written with Dean at his studio. He just has so many things, so many gadgets, so many toys in his studio. And he had this little voice modulator, and one of the settings like this low monster setting. So I started talking to it, just saying like ridiculous stuff, and we started, and I was like, it kind of sounds like a monster. No, it sounds like a robot. No, it sounds like a monster robot. And we started going like, oh my gosh, like what's like, make a song and we'll have like this super dramatic like monster robot, make it sound like all super sci-fi 50 sci-fi like horror B movie. And I was like, but yeah, but like what if like the robot is just like, I don't know, like just trying to buy organic strawberries at the grocery store, or he's just like he doesn't have the right clothing size, and he needs to, or he's just trying to find the right car, but he's too big. He's just really misunderstood, but everyone around him is terrified. And this is just one of the many songs on this record, which it's more like a skit than an actual song. And so that's how this song came about. I love it. I think it's so much fun. The kids who have listened to this, and when this album is fully released, hopefully they'll also too go, oh my gosh, this is super silly and super fun.
Yeah, there is a unique charm to this song. I like this one.
Thank you.
Here it is, Monster Robot, Jesse Jukebox.
Yeah, hi. I know I was created in a scientist's laboratory, but I was just wondering, I need to go grocery shopping. Is this the organic section right here?
Monster Robot!
Okay, I know.
Monster Robot!
Alright, yes.
Monster Robot!
Some days it's just really hard to be a monster robot. Yeah, excuse me, I think you might have dropped your wallet. I just wanted to pick it up for you.
Monster Robot!
I'm not trying to chase you down.
Monster Robot!
Man, you just
Monster Robot!
dropped it. I just wanted to get it for you.
Monster Robot! Monster Robot! Monster Robot!
I'm looking for the big and tall section. Can you...
Move away, dear. It's a monster robot. Be careful.
Excuse me, I asked for no ice, and there's ice in this.
Monster Robot!
No, just please, I'm not trying to...
Monster Robot! Monster Robot!
It's hard to be a monster robot.
And that was Monster Robot. All right, the next one is called Help Our World Go Round. Talk about this one.
This was another song that I wrote in the studio with at Dean's studio, which if you haven't gotten the idea at this point, it's very inspirational to be there. And there'd be times when Dean would just be like, okay, I need to go eat lunch with my daughter. You sit here and write a song. Like, okay. And that's how this came about, just a lot of strumming and just until I kind of figured out what to do. But I loved the way this came out. I think it's a super catchy song. And I guess like, I like I said before, I'm not great at writing messages in my songs, but every now and then I bust out something. And I just wanted to write a song that was kind of like a call to action to like help us understand that like even the natural things and the man-made things are what helps our world exist, and everything has to work together in order for our world to exist. And that's how this song came about. I'm also a super big Wilco fan, and I was very inspired by Wilco with this song as well, especially you'll hear the little synth parts in there as well, and I love this song. It's my favorite off the record. I just think it's so much fun.
All right, well, let's have a listen. Here is Help Our World Go Round by Jesse Jukebox.
Hey, what planet are you from? Oh, Earth? Me too. Let's sing about it. Our planet's made up of so many different things, from the people in the city to the little birds that sing, from the cars out on the freeway to the water in the springs. And if we work together, we can make a real good team. It's the oceans and the rivers, it's the buses and the streets, it's the buildings and the houses, it's the grass and it's the trees. When we put them all together, makes a world for you and me. Whether you're in a desert or town, on the land or up in the clouds, let's help our world spin around, help our world spin around. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh.
And that was Help Our World Go Round. All right, the last song we're going to feature is called Library. Tell us a little bit about this one.
So the library song, again, man, I keep saying like, oh, I don't have messages in my song, but now I'm like playing two in a row that have like, to me, it has a message. Libraries are so important to support and so important to be a part of. It's the only place that I could think of in the world where you can go and exist and nobody has any expectation for you to spend money, where they provide so many services for you, so many just random things that you can do. You can sit and listen to, and like they can bring in like a movie critic to talk about the Oscar movies coming up and tell you how to do an Oscar pool, or like, hey, like I'm super into pottery and look at all this pottery I made. And like you could just find anything that you are interested in. You can find a program at the library that will help you with that interest. And I just think it's so important for children. So I was like, I want to write a theme song for the library. And my wife's a librarian, so she definitely had some input on this. You'll hear one part at the end of the song. I say, oh, we have to use our library voices. And I started to whisper. Now, originally, and this is, originally I had myself going, shh, oh, right, we have to be quiet, librarian. And my wife said, you better not have a librarian shushing in your song. That is so wrong. That is a horrible stereotype. Everyone thinks that's what we do. We're these fun-sucking people. I'm like, okay, I'm so sorry, but you got to be quiet in a library, of course. So that that was when I changed that part too. But yes, the library song, I love it. I think it's super fun. And I think libraries are super important to support. So.
And they support the Kindy community quite a bit. I think
sure do.
A lot of artists get in there and either do book readings or do shows. So yeah,
myself included. Yes, it's important. So thank you to every library in America, and I am happy to be able to write a song in your honor.
All right, here it is to all the libraries out there. Library by Jesse Jukebox.
Where do you go when you have a little time, and hanging out there won't cost you a dime? It's a library, 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 yeah. Where do you go to check out a book and find a little corner and make a little nook? It's the library, 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 yeah. There's story time with Miss Clementine. Explore the science section and expand our minds, or take a free lecture about the love of wind chimes. Oh look, a book about elephants. Cool. Where do you go to find books in outer space and check out a movie all in the same place? It's the library, 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 yeah. It's the library, library, library. Oh, these are library voices.
And that was Library. The album is called Just a Minute, and you just heard 5 featured songs from that. But please go check out the other 23 on there. And
there's, oh yes, you're right, 23. Did my math wrong. I don't have a song about math, so maybe I should write one.
Next album. All right, let everybody know, where can they stream, download, and buy that album, and how can they connect with you on social media?
The album comes out September 2nd. And they will be available on Spotify and Apple Music, YouTube, Amazon, wherever it is that you stream music. The album will be there. In fact, you can go ahead and just follow me, Jesse Jukebox, Jesse Jukebox, on Spotify as well, so you can be up to date when the album is ready. Facebook.com, Jesse Jukebox. Instagram is Jesse Jukebox Music. And I even have TikTok now. Jesse Jukebox Music. I saw you around there too, Patrick. Isn't that fun?
I'm trying.
We're all trying, man.
I don't know if I'm doing it right, but I'm trying.
You're doing it, so you are doing it. I don't feel like there's a wrong way to do it, honestly. It's just, I feel like so old when I'm like, oh, I'm trying to do the TikTok. But yeah, so I'm available on all those platforms. Please come say hello, come follow me, come interact with me. I would love to hear from you.
Awesome. All right, what is in store for you for the rapidly fast year of 2022?
Yeah, this year is going so fast. Well, I am super excited about this album coming out September 2nd. We got some more music videos coming on the way. There's already 2 from this album already out on my YouTube page, Jesse Jukebox, and there'll be some more coming there, so I'm excited to promote that as well. This is all about this rest of the year, man. It's just about seeing what I can do in a minute. It's all about just a minute.
Excellent. Well, I love it. Jesse, thank you so much for coming on the show. It was a pleasure talking to you.
It was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much.
All right, take care.